Hey guys, it's Miss Gephardt, and we're going to go through the notes on the rock cycle. So you want to get your rock cycle worksheet. It looks like this on the front, and then it looks like this on the back. You should be able to, once we've completed these notes, you should know what the rock cycle is and understand how it works, and then be able to tell me how a rock moves and is able to change from one type to another. Before we start with the rock cycle, we're going to do this back part with these 5 words as you see listed here. So we've got weathering, we have erosion, we have deposition, we have cementation, and we have compaction. Weathering is any of the, I'm just grabbing a highlighter real quick. Any of the chemical or mechanical, so we have chemical and mechanical processes by which a rock is exposed to weather and undergo some kind of change in its character. So we can see right in here, it's kind of hard to see, but that big old like gap in the rock and these gaps in here, they've undergone some kind of weathering. So whether it is wind or it's rain, both being a type of weathering, chemical and mechanical, it has sort of carved out the rock in all these different little spots. Get a darker highlighter actually. All right. Next we have erosion. So it's the process by which soil and rock, which is a little dark, just kidding. Soil and rock are removed from the surface by wind, water flow. So and then they're moved, let's say from over here, and then they travel down river, which is kind of hard to see with my pen, but we can imagine this stuff traveling. So we remove, if this if my hand is a rock formation, wind and water flow over this or blow over this, and they move and they move stuff off of it, and then it is transported somewhere else and then deposited to some brand new location. And deposition is then what happens. So it deposits that rock or sand. So we can't just think it's not just rock. It could be sand or it could be sediment, and it's deposited somewhere else. And so if you see right here, sand here, here, and here have all been deposited from this river as it has moved downward. So it's kind of moved downward and has deposited all that sediment and sand. Compaction, sediments are deeply buried, placing them under pressure. Okay, so we can imagine under great pressure, one layer on top of it, and it's pressured pushing down. And this will squash the grains together more tightly. Okay, so it really compacts it. Okay, think about if I gave you mud and told you to compact it, you would squish it together like that as hard as you could. Cementation literally is meaning like taking that water and taking those elements. So you can see all these different rocks in here, and they're all different types of rocks that have been glued together because of the water and the minerals. That combination of water and minerals acted like a glue. It hardened and all the rocks, joined together and are kind of stuck together, which is why this looks like a whole bunch of different rocks in here, because it is. All right, so now we're going to go on to the other side, and this is this top part right here, these 2 pieces. So if you look at your worksheet, it's kind of how I'm going to flow. I'm going to start here, I'm going to work my way here, and work my way across, and then work my way back up, and then we'll deal with the bottom. So that's kind of the order we're going in. So we'll start with sedimentary rocks. These are thick layers, okay? They're loosely compacted. They have distinct particles, so you can see them, and they're dull in appearance. So this is sandstone, and it's dull in appearance. I can see particles in here. They're very thick layered, and they're created based on the processes we just talked about, okay? To go from the sedimentary rock, which is right up here, and to get down towards the igneous is what you see here. To move from here to here, this box right here, that is the melting and cooling. So in order to go from a sedimentary rock to an igneous rock, we have to melt and cool, hence my melted crayons, okay? To go from the igneous rock, right here, back up to the sedimentary that goes in this box, we go through those same 5 processes: weathering, erosion, deposition, cementation, and compaction. All right, so now we're down here at igneous rock, okay, and we're going to fill in this box right here. So igneous rock cools very fast, Or it can cool very fast, it can cool fast, it can cool slow, and it can cool very slow. And the way it cools determines what it's going to look like. So we can see this is obsidian right here. It's very glassy, very, very, very glassy. Okay. Versus this over here, I think that's granite, which is going to have very large crystals. Okay. So it just depends on how quickly it cooled. In order to get these igneous rocks, it's going to undergo some kind of melting and cooling. Okay. All right, so we're over here at igneous rock, and we're filling in these two boxes. So if I want to go from igneous to metamorphic, I have to be under some tremendous heat and pressure. So like you can see here, heat, we're having a little fire, pressure. If you squeeze carbon together, like if you had pure carbon, you squeezed it together, you would produce a diamond because it's under great pressure. When I want to go from metamorphic rock, which is over here, back to igneous, I have to undergo melting and cooling. Okay. All right, so now we're all the way over here at metamorphic. All right. They're thicker layers, so we can really see these are pretty thick layers in here. They're tightly compact. I mean, they are. They're compacted together. Blurred. Okay, so I can definitely tell that there's particles here, but it is blurry. And they're going to be like a shininess. And this is like marble. Okay. And in order to create metamorphic rock, it has to be under heat and pressure. All right, so now we are at the metamorphic, and we're heading our way back up to sedimentary. Okay, so if I want to go back to sedimentary, I go through the same process: weathering, erosion, deposition, cementation, and compaction. If I want to go from sedimentary back to metamorphic right there, I undergo heat and pressure. So make sure you understand heat and pressure is going to get me metamorphic. The melting and cooling is going to get me igneous. These weathering, erosion, deposition, cementation, and compaction is going to get me sedimentary. Just kind of commit those to memory, and it makes it much easier for which goes where. So the final piece down here is the definition of a rock cycle, which is the continuous changing of rocks from one type to another. Remember, the key here is cycle. It's a cycle. There's no beginning, there's no end. So we can go this way, we can go this way, we can go this way, we can go this way. I mean, it's constant turning and changing, but we can go from one type to the other. And the second sentence is all rocks can turn into all types of rocks. So it's not like sedimentary can't become igneous. Sedimentary can become igneous, it can become metamorphic, it can become, go back, just can go in any way. There's no one that it can't become. It just has to be under the right conditions. So to be sedimentary, we go through those 5 things: weathering, erosion, deposition, cementation, compaction. To be igneous, we're heating and cooling. And remember, it depends. Are we going to go it's going to be really fast heated or really slow heated? And then metamorphic is going to be under that tremendous heat and pressure. Okay? Remember, if you can't answer these questions, bloop, bloop, you're going to need to make sure you go back and talk to your teacher. And don't forget to take the quiz after this so that you get credit in class. And if you have any questions, see your teacher. And otherwise, that'll be it.